Away I know your name. Don't hide from me, 'cause I see all your pain. It's written in your eyes. You and I, we are one and the same. For better or for worse, our dreams are our curse. We are united in our pain. So tell me why we live like angels with no halos, walking blind in a wasteland, a graveyard, out of sight and out of mind. We must be crazy to live so aimlessly, and yet so blind. We survive. We are fighters and we break the lies alive. We break the lies alive. Even when you're on your own, you don't walk alone. I'm by your side. Somehow we survive. Tell me why we're gifted with such insight, but we're so blind to the demons that we all fight. This really by design, and if so, then what happened to our human side? If we can't let go of the hate in our souls, then I fear we've wasted our lives. That's right, we survive. We are fighters and we break the lies alive. We break the lies alive. Even when you're on your own, you don't walk alone. I'm by your side. Somehow we survive.
The Transisio Des has begun. Ladies and gents, hello and welcome. Ring Warriors Fun Times. I currently have Tash and Foxy with me, our resident duo, which is awesome. And
yes,
you notice
who
my
are
dev screen
always
this week.
here.
There you go, yes. You notice my dev screen this week is a little different. We don't have the rest of the manual up. Instead, we have white screen, or in fact, notepad screen. Ooh, oh yes. It's getting notepad time, boys.
What?
Before we get started, because we had a nice little bit of story time before moving over here, I just want to bring... She's going to be embarrassed by this, but I don't even give a shit. Big shout to Tash, because she's been doing some really heroic stuff, sorting out masks for the NHS, after some really good news of her and her other half, who I hope is doing well this evening. Probably not watching this, but hey ho. How you doing? I'm that random guy. Anyway. Yeah, amazing work. Shouts to Tash. And if we get any people in chat, just shout congrats, and we'll go from there. It's awesome.
Huzzah.
It's really good. Now, Ring Warriors. So, I want to take a little time before we get started today, because you will notice there has not been a lot of updates development-wise. Reasons for that, as you can imagine, with the current pandemic going on, I'm working my arse off, because I am part of the NHS. As a result of that, I have been working consistently, even working bank holidays, still working this Monday bank holiday, which is still a regular one. I'm working it still anyway, because I'm a madman. But, as you can imagine, with all that being said, I've probably come home, been knackered, haven't really wanted to work on a lot, so I've prioritised chilling out with games like Final Fantasy XIV, World of Warcraft, Darksiders, and a bunch of other things leading up to here. Big congrats from my lovely other half, Heather, to you, Tash, by the way, in the chat.
Oh, thanks.
Awesome stuff. So on that grounds, I know it's silly to say, because I know people would just expect me to look after myself and all that jazz, but I do want to apologise for lack of updates and developments on the game. But I'm hoping to make changes with that, because I'm hoping to get into a mindset where I can at least get anywhere between half an hour to an hour's work on either Ring Warriors or my D&D radio show a day when I get a chance. So, with that in mind, I wanted to start this stream off by going over some things that I plan to add to the game or be working on for the game, and thus the notepad will be displaying somewhat order that I'm hoping to develop things in, if you want to follow me through. Big update number 1. If we get this all. What did I call it? Damn it, I've even forgotten the name of the thing I was meant to type down. God's sake. That's it, I've got it. I'm writing it down while it's in my head.
Do it.
Number 1, integrate the integrity system. Some of you may know what I'm talking about by this, but others that don't, I will quickly clarify. I am going to test an idea. The idea is, in order to separate ourselves from other RPGs on the market, I'm going to try a bit of an experimental, maybe some radical technique known as the integrity system. The integrity system will basically be the major HP pool of your wrestler as you go through the game. Your core HP that you start off at level 1 will never change and will never increase. Instead, you will have increases to your integrity, and everything you do relies on your integrity to work out. If you fail at certain tasks, if it's a struggle to fulfill certain things, you may get damage to your integrity. Think of it as integrity is your armor prior to your health getting hit. And when you hit to just your health, that's the danger zone. Because your health is going to be anywhere from about 10 points up to about a maximum of like 15, 16 points if you're lucky, I believe. Hello, by the way, Lyserg, nice to see you. So, with that in mind, the integrity system is developed in a way. If I was to make an example, so at the moment, our HP will be something like this. So you start with 10 plus your harm toughness, and that's where you have a level 1. So if we say, for example, that... So if we say, for example, that our toughness is 3, that would mean that our start HP equals, well, not 13, because our starting HP, if it's adding harm, which is half of 3 rounded down, would be 11 points. And if you think about that, that means that 11 hit points are not going anywhere. Switching to Twitch, no worries, I say. So with this in mind, you start off with 11 HP. But then from level 2, you would roll a d12 plus your toughness, and that will then equal your integrity. So from level 2, you will start building integrity. So potentially, with these stats in mind, if we were to put this into consideration, if we kept our example of toughness equal 3, if I type that in properly, that would mean that your integrity, as of level 2, would look a little something like this. The highest potential grade that you can get with D12 plus toughness is 15, right? So that would mean your highest, you would possibly have 15 integrity with 11 HP. That means before they're able to hit your HP and lower your HP down, they have to go through your integrity first. And from level 2, that's major. That basically means if you could survive getting your first 3 wins in any kind of situation, now you have a little bit more of armor against your health to help survive encounters. And then integrity will then level up with every level therein, meaning that you will build up more and more and more and more integrity as the game goes on. But it also means that as the game goes on, more and more damage output will be available, with characters being able to commit to more moves in the same turn, more bonus functions being available that can do insane damage. You may even go against people with championship belts that may be able to drill through your health unless you're able to counteract it, and bits and bobs like that. Suddenly integrity becomes a system that is so essential that it is literally a ticking time bomb. And in the sake of wrestling, they use the word integrity all the time in wrestling, right? In order to show a wrestler's grit and their determination to carry on. That's the idea behind this system. Make it attached to wrestling whilst adding in a different functionality that acts separately from, let's say, D&D, Pathfinder, etc. To add our own twist to the mix. That's aim number 1, and that's going to be a big aim. It could potentially change everything, because that would change level ups, that can change abilities that affect HP. It will change the effects of healing, because now it will heal integrity, or heal HP, or recover integrity equal to remaining HP, etc. There's so many things you can mess about with here, and that's going to take a while, but it's a major update that I want to bring in. Second big thing that will be coming into the game. Moveset overhaul. What do I mean by this? Basically, the move list right now is pretty damn good. There's a lot of moves, a lot of different things that you can do that are catered to different stat pools, so you can use the best moves for your variation. Awesome. As well as that, certain moves will correlate well with certain abilities that you have, depending on the style that you have as a character, which is awesome. But there are problems. The biggest problem of all being that, for the example of suplex, I only have like three different suplexes. When, as we know, the suplex is the most variable wrestling move on the planet. You can have so many different variants of a suplex, it's insane. So what I'm instead going to do is, I'm going to do an overhaul where I either, at the moment it's a little bit 50-50, so instead, we will either have multiple kinds of the same move. So, for example, regular suplex, German suplex, inverted suplex, etc. So, as you get an understanding. Or, this is the other trick we have. We either list out all the different kinds of suplexes you can do and the different stat pools they're linked to. Or we can do something different to make it a little bit more concise, but at the same time gives players an idea of how they can really be creative with their style of wrestling in the game. My idea is here. So you can have multiple kinds of the same move, or you can have an overlay of the move with options. What do I mean by this? So I mean, you commit to the suplex, but depending on how you commit to the suplex, gives the GM the idea of what kind of stat pool you're going to come off of. So, if you say to yourself, I'm going to use a suplex in this way, you're probably, like, if you're going to use a standard suplex, it's probably just going to be power-based because you're lifting them up, slamming them down. But if you're going to use a suplex in a way where you're going to kind of like trick them out of the way first, and then trick them into a suplex, as in a cunning style. All of a sudden, cunning suplex. Or you just look at them and they're in the perfect position, and you think, right, wittiful suplex, because you just suddenly clicked into your head. It's kind of like the Randy Orton RKO out of nowhere, but then you integrate that into your suplex, where they will not see this coming. Wits clicks in, wits-based suplex. As I said, that might be a little bit too hands-off. And it sounds very too hands-off at the moment, but it depends on how it's written. I'm going to test it out. If it's written well, we can go forward with it. If it is not written well at all, we'll just simply lie out the different moves and give you the list of these are the different variants with their stat pools go nuts. Which, quite frankly, both work, both are successful in their own way, but at the moment, for multiple kinds of the same move being listed, sounds already a lot better than the overlay. But as I said, that's going to be a mini experiment on my side. Third major thing that I'm going to add in, that I'm going to work on, but this is bearing in mind this is going to be worked on after these two. Match variations. More match variations introduced into the game to make it more available for everyone. Suplex out of nowhere, Kenny Omega snap suplex. Exactly. I love it. I love that suplex as well from Kenny Omega. One of my favourites, one of the best. Especially one of the best in the very business right now. It's so clean. So match variations. Obviously, you have your singles matches, and I've started making a list of them already on the bottom of the Wrestler's Manual, and they're looking pretty great. We just need to add a few more. Why not? And added a few more descriptions of what they are. Makes sense. The last thing on my list right now is a little bit of an extra. So I'm not even going to class this as a major point, I'm going to class this as an extra point. Additional races. I have dabbled, as some people know, we have dabbled with some ideas here on the streams. Some of the ideas have been developed into enemy-specific races right now. But, as some people will know, when we get to a point where we're going to end up being ready for Kickstarter, one of the biggest things I'm going to put on Kickstarter is that depending on my maniacal cackling on certain race ideas, god damn it, like, Mouflon's in, okay? I'm going to say it. Mouflon's in. So if
Yes!
you want to wrestle as a sheep, you're going to be able to do it. You're welcome. But basically what I'm saying is, any of the enemy races, or any races you may see in the games we have, or if you have access to the Wrestler's Manual at the moment in its beta phases, if you have a look through there and you see races that you would consider playing, like some of the more like the cybernetic, or like the Devilkin, or some of the other races we have, but they're not fleshed out enough. The reason for that is because depending on how well the Kickstarter goes, I will make more races available in the book and flesh them out properly. So with that in mind, I may start dabbling in actually making these a thing and actually crafting them out even more than they currently are at. So, interesting times. There's going to be some fun ones. Basically, all of them on the enemy list is where I'm starting from, apart from one, because it doesn't quite work as an enemy race. Which brings us to additional styles. With more races comes more choice. And when you have more choice one side, you've got to balance out the scale on the other. So if we're going to add more races, you're damn right I'm going to add more wrestling styles. Some people may know a couple that I'm working on. One of them is going to be the referee, so being able to play the game as a referee style class. So instead of more so using wrestling moves as damage, reacting to wrestling moves as a referee, and implying damage onto enemies that do not cater to your rules or code of ethics within wrestling, which is going to be badass. Referees are basically going to be the paladins of this game, but in a way that I think no one has ever envisioned referees to work in a game of this scale before. So that's going to be interesting. You know what? I'm even going to add a little thing here, so we know what we're talking about. Referee's one of them. Another one that we'll be working on is Sentai. We are adding in Sentais as an additional wrestling style. These are your Power Rangers. These are your Kamen Riders. These are your Sailor Moons. These are your Madoka Magica. These are your people if you want to transform into a badass on the fly. Simple as that. We're going to make something badass with this. The later levels may involve Megazords. Be mindful. It's going to be great. Another one I have been working on that I've talked about before is Copycat. The idea that you're a wrestler that doesn't even know their own style, but copies the style of others or aspects of other wrestlers in order to defeat them. So, it's an interesting idea. The idea that you steal their moves and use them against them. It's going to be intriguing, and we're going to see what we can do. However, there's one style I have experimented with that I'm liking the look of, but I'm happy to announce here today is in the works and could potentially be an additional style for the game. Ladies and gentlemen, bearing in mind this is an alpha/beta name of the moment, more alpha than anything else, I'm working on something known as a WrestleMancer. You may be thinking to yourself right now, what the hell is a WrestleMancer and why do I need to play it? Basically, I am thinking of making a style of wrestling in the game that is literally the only magical based style in Ring Warriors. This is meaning that this style is going to be hard to play, have a very high skill ceiling, but if you can manage that skill ceiling, you will end up doing the most craziest shit. And by craziest shit, I mean the luchadors have a tree that allow them to summon ghosts of their fans that they can then use to add damage or add to their rolls, etc. Take that aspect, and instead of summoning ghosts for simply buff damage or combine together to inflict additional damage, you are now summoning other wrestlers or other beings to wrestle on your behalf, using your stats, using your pools, using your very capabilities as their way of wrestling. The reason why we're doing WrestleMancer, and this is bearing in mind, WrestleMancer can also come under one other name. And this is a name that a lot of people out there will instantly click onto. WrestleMancers are the managers of Ring Warriors. These are your Paul Heymans. These are the guys that stand on the sidelines of the ring rooting you on. Because, of course, these guys are full of power just like everyone else, but they don't wrestle. They get other people to wrestle for them. So how do they channel that power? They literally summon someone to do the job for them. WrestleMancy in a nutshell. No one knows if they're truly magical or not, but in fact, they are. The only magical bound people known to mankind. A secret society of managers that keep magic alive, but keep it so in touch with wrestling that it's so underground, but no one's clocked onto it. That is something so trippy, it's gotta be made. So envision that. Managers that are able to summon their own wrestlers from other planes of existence, from other realms of elements, you name it. These guys can just make it happen. This does not mean that you're going to be able to summon a fire elemental and suddenly you're burning rings. No, I don't want these guys to become blatant elementalists. These guys are just going to be so trippy, it's going to blow your freaking mind. They're in test stages, I haven't really done a lot with them, but it's there as an idea, and it's going to be nuts. With that being said, those are some basic ideas from what I'm working on right now. So, the integrity system to basically change up the health system of the game and how that's all going to be implemented. The moveset overhaul, where we're going to add more moves or change how moves are currently laid out, etc. to make that a little bit easier. Add more match variations and some more GM tips to go in there as well. And then dabbling into the realm of additional races and styles that may not be available in base game, but depending on how well the Kickstarter goes, and as stretch goals, I will make more and more available as we go along. With that being said, I hope you guys are looking forward to this. I will do my best to keep you guys updated on how things go. Bear in mind, I am trying my best, and I will work on things as best I can, which I know you guys appreciate, and I know you understand. So that said, we can look forward to a few things. And if you're hype about anything in chat, or if you're hype about anything out there in YouTube land after this video goes up, let me know what you're hype about, that you want to learn more about. And as per usual, you can always shoot me messages wherever I am. Or if you are about and you want to consider it, hype me up in the Discord server, where you can come on over, you can ask questions specifically on Discord, and we can just have a good time from there. Simple as. Gonna be good. Lots of hype. I like it. With that being said, and with updates out of the way, I think it's only fair that we get started with tonight's session of Ring Warriors, unless there's anything you guys would want to add.
Not. I mean, I don't really have anything worthwhile adding, so yeah.
Fair play.
Foxy?
Yeah, well, not that much anything to add.
Don't have much things to add, but secretly on the inside, why is WrestleMancy the new best class that I must play right now?
God.
Or then it just goes like, okay, I will. Let's just do a list, and then when you are like, okay, this game is like in perfect working order for starting Kickstarter and all that jazz, then I'm like, okay. Oh, by the way, I just sent you something, and then it's just a huge package full of paper. Like, okay, adjust this, and it's like freaking 500 pages of paper.
I'm expecting that.
Nah.
Introduce the character we created last time. Oh yeah, Keith Lee. Was
Yeah.
it? No, not Keith Lee. Shinsuke Lee.
Shin Lee.
Shin Lee. The level 20 abomination. He's magical. He's truly magical. But we're not here to talk about Shin Lee at the moment. He may come up maybe in the future as a super boss if we ever wanted to try and
Yes.
take him on. But for now, let's change our screen. Whoop,
Whoop.
we're ready to go. Shin Lee! Can we get some Shin Lees in chat? I love Shin Lee. Shin Lee's a boss. He's an absolute killer.
All of a sudden, there is emote Shin Lee.
Hashtag Shin Lee. See if
That
we can
would
get
actually-
people just... Yeah,
That actually would make a boss emote, by the way.
Oh, that totes will. Shin Lee! Oh man, the hype. The hype is real.
Yeah.
But yes, more hype being made because we're playing Ring Warriors! Yes!
Yes.
Heck yeah!
Awesome. So, reiteration from what happened last time. Our group of 4 individuals, sadly there's only 3 at the moment because at this moment in time, Artemis has been written out due to health reasons. Well, and just general looking after themselves reasons. Which is fine. What happened
And
last
that's
time?
okay.
So in the last chapter, the guys basically came face to face with Mad World once again, after tracking them down to Miami, Florida, tracking them to a big top circus, where they ended up noticing that the entire fan base of the circus got put to sleep, apart from them. They managed to wade off chainsaw clowns and find out that their friend that was trapped in a cage called Agatha was not actually there and it was just a hologram. Parading through the back, going through some obstacles along the way, they end up bumping into Mad World themselves, being a mysterious cloaked individual, and 3 guys that you guys had fought prior that came back. But then a thing happened. That thing being that Erg managed to suplex the helicopter that everything was in. That somehow created a demonic fiery monster that seems to resemble parts of Agatha, which broke Artemis's arm before poofing away. Artemis went through some surgery, got herself a badass new arm that can fire tarot cards out of it, which makes her very happy. And you guys pursued pursued Mad World back to the original location where you found out there was an underground base ran by a mysterious scientist by the name of Oxide. You basically annihilated the zombie waves over there by using outside the box tactics. Great. And as a result of that, fought off Oxide, turned off the emergency release valve, which made sure that the Mad World miasma that was being created down there was not released into the general populace, and you effectively saved the day. Which is great. On top of that, you also won the trust of the current reigning World Tag Team Champions known as the Outsiders, that have promised you guys a tag team title match against them in the future. Awesome. With all this in mind, where does the story now head? Well, you're still in Miami. You've been chilling out, working out on a few bits. We ended out the last episode with you guys playing some b-ball up and out of school. And then a couple of guys fell up to no good. No, I'm joking. It's not going to end up like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but you're playing basketball outside, chilling out. It's been a little while, not too long, since that's happened. You had some time to rest, work out, evaluate what you would want in yourself coming forward. And as you do, Sean Leafmeyer calls you guys together in order to bring forth a new plan of action. Because, of course, Artemis is sadly down, but he'll actually talk to you guys with this in the first place. So it brings you into like a meeting hall, not too similar from the same meeting place where you guys originally were talking about the Mad World base, etc. From that point, they've been able to experiment on the Mad World miasma, actually starting to develop cures for those that are still zombified at this state in Miami. So you've done very good making sure the miasma stayed intact. Very good. So Sean Leafmeyer sits you all down. And when he sits you all down, he looks towards you guys and starts off by just saying, "Guys, it's been a while. Let me know, how you all doing?"
Doing fine, even though we were in a risk of being sent to death row, but well, I think everybody here is owes us an apology for handling this situation as such as it is.
Ah, yes. Considering that we went to the circus, got attacked by clowns, had at least two of our friends mind controlled by some ridiculous mind control trick, got accused of practically setting the zombie apocalypse in Miami, going down underground, facing a drugged up guy along with a lot of zombies, and getting out there before things explode. Yeah, we're all pretty fine, and I think I would like to add to what Foxboy was saying by saying that perhaps the bit of compensation could make up for the trouble that we have all been put through.
And Erg just goes, what they said. Makes it simple. Sean Leafmike keeps it all in mind. He looks towards you all and goes, well, on behalf of me, on behalf of the World Wrestling, the World Organization of Wrestling, I am sorry. It was my hands were kind of tied because of the government of Miami, but I should have known better. I lashed out. I misjudged. I apologize. Should have trusted you guys from the get.
Well, politicians, they're about as trustworthy as a chocolate teapot. I mean, even a chocolate teapot is more trustworthy, so long as it's 3 centimeters thick exactly. That way the water wouldn't fall out of the bottom.
He does not react to that, but you do see him jot down a note saying 3 centimeters from bottom.
God.
You could say, Leafmy will remember this.
Yeah,
but with that being said, he has a couple things for you. For Erg, he has something very special. He gives Erg a box and says to Erg, I was sent this as a gift for you specifically. Think you'll enjoy it. Erg looks at the box, just immediately, don't give no crap to read anything that's on it, just ripping the lid open, and his face beaming with adulation, goes into the box and pulls out a basketball.
Oh
Oh,
God.
nice.
And that basketball has a very special note signed into it. As Erg reads it and just goes, keep dunking, champ. Signed, Mum and Dad.
Oh.
Oh. Also, mention about basketball. I actually found out what was one of my favorite games on PS2 when I was younger, and it was NBA Street 2.
Oh, NBA Street. Oh, good times.
Yeah.
For me, it was FIFA Street 2. FIFA Street 2 was mad. Soundtrack, gameplay, gorgeous. So, Erg gets his basketball. He's kind of like closed eyes, kind of like happy tear. He's just holding onto the ball, thinking, "I'm complete now." Happy Erg. He then has another box and passes it over to you, Liam.
Oh.
And as he passes it over to you, he says, I don't know where this box came from. It didn't seem to have a return address to it or any notification with it as to who sent it. It just specifically said it was for you, so I hope it's nothing that's going to blow in your face.
Yeah, let's hope that none of my, people who have had uncouth behavior towards me would have sent me this. And Liam starts to carefully examine the box.
Okay. You examine the box. It's pretty much, it's almost a similar size as to Erg's box.
Mhm.
But whilst Erg's box is just a very nicely and neatly put together cardboard box with no like damages or anywhere else, you'll notice for some parts of the cardboard box that you have some like scuffs on it, have some like splat of something on it on the side. It's been places. Not sure where, but it's been places.
Yes. So do I need to roll like a smarts check or something?
If you want to.
Yeah. Let's do it.
D6 plus smarts for people at home.
That's 8.
That's alright. After using your smarts and thinking, where has this box been? Seeing if you can't identify some of the core areas of what it might have been through. The scuffs may have been more so like in transit damage. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not like someone's been clawing at it to try and open it. The splat, however, does seem to be a little bit more cautious. Because you look at it at first just thinking, oh, it must be a water splat. But then you look at it closely, you see how, like, thin it seems to be and how dark the colouring is. It seems to be like a light splat of what could have been someone's blood.
Oh,
It's been through the wars.
okay. Well, it seems like this box has been places, and it hasn't had the most gentle delivery. But let's see what's in it. And Liam places the box on a table and opens it.
Alrighty. Sitting on the table in front of you, you slowly take your time opening up the box. Just being a little bit concerned because you don't know. Maybe dangerous. You open up the box. As you do, you see wrapped very nicely and with some like with that typical inbox like little peanuts that you get that everyone hates.
Yeah.
In amongst those for extra protection, you see what seems to be a little handheld screen.
Ooh.
Like a screen that's big enough to hold in the palm of your hand.
Hmm.
Like
Well.
you take a look at it first and you think to yourself, quirky, right? But what is it?
Yeah. Leon tries to find like a power button or something
You have
because
a
it
look
seems
it.
like a screen.
You have a look around it, and you see what seems to be a power button. And as you push the power button on, it flashes up, shows like all these lines of code as it's going up the screen, and then flashes on. It is a new high-tech hacking device.
Oh. Dang.
You also notice at the back of the screen there seems to be a roll of wire that is a plug-in cable that has a lot of reach to it.
Mm-hmm.
Very shiny.
Yes.
And you notice when the screen loads up, you notice one thing that grabs your attention. On the dashboard of the screen, there is a single file saying a warning from a friend.
Okay. Well. Liam just clicks on it and just before he actually clicks on it, he is actually going to ask Leaf by the way, do you have any sort of TV I can plug this in?
Sean would just simply point at the TV at the top end of the table and just go, yeah, sure, plug it in there.
Yeah. Well, Liam plugs it in and just clicks on the warning from a friend.
Okay. As you click that, it comes up on the big screen so everyone in the room can read it. And as it comes up on the screen, it's simply a message that reads out to you saying, "Dear Liam, use this device to your best potential in order to hack in to some of the toughest areas imaginable. May just need this for the future ahead. Let's just say that the code may not be dead." And then there seems to be no signature left on it, but what seems to be a pair of lips and a foxtail coming off of the lips. That's kind of like a signature off of it.
Yeah, but well, I see. And then of course I think that of course because knowing Liam and how suspicious he is going to assume that the message is going to delete itself after it has been read.
You can assume that as soon as you close this message, chances are, yeah, it's going to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep that with you and do with it as you shall. Insert info there. And then Thaddeus, you do not get a box. Sadly. I know. It's a cruel world out there where you would wish everyone gets a box, but sadly, it's just not the case. However...
Of course, it's typical.
I know. No, is it dwarfism? I don't know. Don't blame me. Is it gnomism?
Racist.
No. Now we're touching places, but no. None of it. What you receive instead is a letter. A letter with Sean Leafmeyer's own WOW logo just printed on the back on it. Passes the letter over to you and says, "Thaddeus, for your accomplishments during this time and for your accompaniment during these tough trials, I'd like to offer you this."
Yeah. Yep. Thaddeus will take the envelope and open it up. What does it say?
You open up the envelope, and inside is a letter. Unraveling the letter, it's an official letter from Sean Leafmeyer that reads, "For the attention of Dr. Thaddeus, the Dastardly, by the power invested into the head of the World Organization of Wrestling, Sean Leafmeyer, we are happy to congratulate you on receiving this letter, which confirms that you are entitled to one championship match in the future."
Yeah. You start hearing a kind of chuckle, like
Wow, he went off his nut.
Well, Mr. Leafmeyer, and he'll just put his hand out. You got yourself a deal. I can't wait to meet my, well, shall I say, one of many adversaries I'll encounter in the future.
He reaches out, shakes your hand in approval, and goes, "Well, I'm happy you like it, because that letter also has one other thing with it as well. Your next destination. Everyone, you're going to Ohio."
Oh, Ohio.
Because Ohio is where Thaddeus's next championship match is about to take hold. But the plan's all set up, but you guys need to get down there lickety-split, or else the champion ain't going to be too happy.
Well then, I don't know what we're all standing around here for. We may as well get a move on, for the Doctor's debut is long overdue. Oh, that rhymes!
Lovely. He looks towards you and just goes, these gifts may not be the most profound gifts or most expensive gifts in the world, but they're gifts nonetheless and signs of thanks. Not from me, then from your families, your friends, and the people that you have come to respect. Now, if everyone's happy and you have no other questions, why don't we get you over to Ohio lickety-split?
With absolute pleasure.
Yes, let's go.
And Urg will just put out, like, he's still, like, holding the ball in one hand, shaking out of pure happiness. He's like, thumbs up while he's at it, just so hype about what's going to happen. With that being said, your bag's packed, ready to go. You are sent via a limo over to the airport, where you get onto your private jet, heading straight to Ohio. As you are in flight to Ohio, is there anything you would wish to do on your flight?
Oh, there is one thing, but I'm gonna let Foxy do his thing.
Well, Liam is going to be doing what he always does. He checks the news. That is there anything worthwhile happening, and then then he just goes to practice and just says, if anyone wants to spar with me, go ahead, you can join me.
Sweet.
Okay.
Would Thaddeus be
Yeah.
willing to spar?
I
Do you have
mean,
your own plans?
first of all, I would like him to transform back into. I do have the name on my character sheet.
Wilbur.
Well, it was Wilbur something, but I can't remember what surname I used for him. We'll call him Wilbur for now, just Wilbur. So Dr. Thaddeus transforms back into the meek and subservient Wilbur, and I would like him to give a call to his girlfriend.
Ooh,
Yeah.
lovely.
Oh,
Aw.
Let's do just that. As you're making that call and transforming over to Wilbur, Urg, to answer your call, Liam, will... He's like in the middle of like some dribbling drills with his new basketball. Just shooting some meatballs up in our school. I know, it all comes back to Fresh Prince, I know. But he scores a basket, really nice few pointers. As he looks over to you, he's just saying, like, I could use a spar.
yeah.
So he just goes over to you, and you guys are like practicing holds and all that jazz with each other, getting into the zone. With Faddy, also
Hi.
say Wilbur, you're calling your girlfriend. Who is this mysterious woman of yours?
Who is this mysterious woman of mine? Well, before Thaddeus decided to go into the world of wrestling, he was just a plain old office worker who was just your typical white collar office worker, and he didn't mind the job too much. It was a bit drab and grey in places, but he was used to it. And then one day, a new kind of office worker comes along, a female gnome, blonde hair, tied in a bun, and she's introduced to the office that they're all working for and that. And he fell head over heels over her. But obviously, being the shy gnome that he was, he had to pluck up a lot of courage to kind of get to know her, maybe go on a couple of dates. But what she doesn't know is that he is actually Dr. Thaddeus the Dastardly. So he's kind of like living a double life. And as far as she knows, he is doing some over, like, sort of around the country kind of business, like, I don't know, negotiations and like just traveling around on business and things.
Like round the nation business worker.
Yeah, because he wants to get enough money to, like, buy a really nice house with white picket fence and everything. Maybe the two of them could get married, have a couple of kids, and live life as a happy couple.
Oh, lovely. What a
That,
very righteous forward thinker.
But she doesn't know that he is also, like, wrestling for dust monies.
Why does this make me think immediately that Dr. Thaddeus is basically Megamind?
I mean, you're not wrong.
And like for me, it brings into mind sort of like from, I think it's from Big Bang Theory, that being like really meek, but then like acting and cosplaying a tough guy.
Okay. So, just your run-of-the-mill cosplay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I mean, that's also true on my part. But there we go.
Very nice.
So is for me as soon as conventions open up.
And right,
But
with
you were
this phone
saying,
call,
Dom.
when you call her, you're like getting up the phone, giving it a ring ding, even using the private jet's phone because you get better signal.
Yes.
And as you give her a call, she picks up her phone and just goes, "Hello."
Hi, Cynthia. It's Wilbur. Hello.
Oh, Wilbur! Oh my god! How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing good. How's you and how's work at the
Everything's
office?
alright. Yeah, we're knuckling down, getting things sorted out. It's all good.
Oh, good. Yeah, glad to hear it. Yeah, 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 I'm not gonna lie. I really do miss you, and I just wish that I'm not traveling around so much on business. I mean, business is business.
Oh, Wilbur, sweetie. You can't worry about that. You know I'm always gonna be here. It doesn't matter. I'll wait for as long as I need to.
And he's just so, like, he's internally screaming, but he's just blushing on the phone. If she could see how much he's blushing, then oh my god, he's internally screaming like.
Oh.
But yeah, he's just so awkward. Oh man, it's adorable. But yeah, so yeah, I'm always gonna be around, like, no matter how far we are apart, you know? Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I'm just glad that you're doing all right and working hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, sweetie. Hey, when are you gonna
Yeah.
be coming home anyway? I thought your business trip out of Miami was only gonna be a couple of days.
Yeah. Yeah. Boss phoned me up after the little business meeting and said that I needed to be over in Ohio. Yeah. There was another client that wanted to, like, negotiate some terms and deals and conditions and stuff. And well, since I was in Miami and since he he pretty much went, "Hey, Wilbur, I hear you're near Ohio. I just need you to negotiate some of the paperwork with the client and send me the details all the way to Ohio." So yeah.
I'm going to be really cool here.
Oh no!
Roll me a cunning check.
Cunning. Oh yeah, darn! I'm not even on roll 20. Oh god. Hang on. Have you got RV? Oh god, I don't know. I wonder if it'll work on here. Probably not. Who knows? So
It helps your cunning is 7.
Yeah, I know that. So +7. Oh, okay, it won't work on here. Never mind. I'll just get my dice and dice tray out. Okay. Technical difficulties, but not with technology, because the player totally forgot that they weren't logged into Roll20. Okay, so cunning. It's an 9.
Nice. You're right.
Nice.
There's no ideas are let out. You're absolutely fine.
Whew. Ah!
So if she just hears you about going over to Ohio and just go, "Oh, sweet, you're in hand, man. Don't you worry. You go out there. You work as much as you need to. Just get home safe, okay?"
Yeah, sure thing. Love you.
She goes, "I love you too, sweetheart."
No. And can't wait to be home with you.
I'll be waiting with arms wide open.
Well, take care of yourself. And don't work too hard.
Nah, you too, sweetie. You look after yourself now.
And all of a sudden you can hear on the background.
I could just envision like Liam and Erg just watching round a corner going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, and then there's like some hold taken, like, okay, let's go back. It's
like
not,
you stop, like you're in the middle of a headlock and you've stopped just to hear things, and when things stop, you're just like,
Yeah, no, I can imagine after Thaddeus says his goodbyes, like, bye-bye, no, you say bye, no, you hang up, no, you hang up, no, you hang up, sort of thing. But after he finally hangs up, I can imagine all three looking at each other, and they're like, what the?
Just like, I'm actually imagining it like as Liam hears that the call ends, like before this lovers sort of you hung up first thing.
Yeah.
Is like to Ugg, okay, let's continue. Then there's like a huge grunts on the background, like yeah, like
Yeah, I can totally imagine that.
yeah, like
fantastic. Right. With that being done, your flight continues, and you're on the path to Ohio. And for just a second, and I apologize for anyone in chat, I'm going to quickly transition to my BRB screen because I want to make myself a drink because I am very parched. We will be back in just a couple of seconds. Bear with me. Whoa!
Okay.
If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home. When I'm
just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare, but when I start to see those eyes begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes down to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try it. If I bleed tonight, if I am dead tonight, I don't have the time to find. If I wake tonight, I'm so tired tonight, I'm falling asleep when I'm home, when I'm no place to go, no one that can see through that side of the light. I can see my life is crap, I have to see them too. I just live into my world, far from the pain, the feel. Was out of reach of desire, was not aware of the start of hell, but when I start to see those eyes begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. If I bleed tonight, if I am dead tonight, I don't have a job to find. If I wake tonight, I'm so tired tonight, I'm falling asleep when I'm home. I was so wrong, I was so blind, I was so dumb and out of time. I was so wrong, I was so blind, I was so If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. If I wake tonight, I'm so tired tonight, I'm falling asleep when I'm home,
And we're back. Amply,
Yes.
amply filled. Way. So, Ohio, we go. You guys, you're on the road to Ohio. And you certainly do get around. As you get on close to Ohio, you recognize that the airport you're landing at it seems to be in the middle of nowhere. There seems to be a lot of farmland around. Seems to be a lot of different farms. Like you got your sheep, you got your cows, you got your piggies. Like lots of farmy areas as you land at the main airport. And the main airport is really, really nicely built up. It's a modern airport. It's just the local area directly around the airport is mostly farmland. There's an idea of what Ohio is like.
Mhm.
And as you come off of your jet and you land successfully, you are greeted by another suited individual, as you are used to up to this point. This suited individual, however, is not like the others.
Mhm.
You are bumped into a multitude of different suits throughout this time. This one, however, is slightly different. Comes up to you, quite fairly built, a little bit podgy, a little bit small and podge, about like 5'5", not too tall, but tall enough.
Yeah, sorry, what race is this particular
We're getting to that.
being?
I'm hyping this up.
Okay, okay. Fair enough.
We're leading in. About 5'5"-ish, a little bit podgy in the build, and you notice that this person doesn't have regular hands and is a little bit fluffy in places, as this does seem to be a mouflon.
Oh.
Specifically, it is a white, fairly fluffy sheep in places. The head popping out of the top of a suit that's nicely tied up with a blue tie, with a nice big white mane, some thick black eyes, and a protruding nose coming out. As he looks over towards you and just goes, "Well, welcome, y'all. Welcome to Ohio."
Oh god, why does this feel like you pulled this right out of Zootopia?
I mean,
Tag
there is
Zootopia
going to be a
expansion
Zootopia expansion, like,
Yeah.
soon.
coming soon.
TM. Copyright.
Yeah, yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
true. Very true.
Wrestlepolis.
Wrestleopolis. Oh god. So, yeah, he welcomes you to Ohio.
Well, thank you kindly.
Yeah, thank you, thank you for being so welcoming.
And Oak just goes, "It's a sheep. I want to pet
Yeah.
the sheep."
Don't pet the sheep.
I don't think he would. I don't think he'd appreciate that. Some may say it's a bit racist.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna roll a thing for Erg.
Oh no!
Oh god. Erg cannot resist the temptation,
Damn it.
and so will approach this Mouflon individual, and with the simple idea of must stroke, and as he puts his arm out to effectively stroke the sheep, it's like as if this Mouflon goes from a kind and welcoming demeanor to all of a sudden, ching! Battle stance activated, as Erg is in motion, just seems to grab Erg's open arm and fling Erg over them, smacking them into the ground behind him.
Well, he's a tough little guy.
Oh my goodness, Erg, are you alright?
Erg just goes, That's a good arm."
He is going to be alright, sir, right?
Hey,
You
he's
didn't hurt-
absolutely fine. That wasn't even meant to hurt him. It was just to make sure he doesn't stroke me. So don't try it. And Erg's just like, okay, sorry. Okay, fluff, no, sorry. Let's go. Of all the things I just don't like, I'm a businessman now, and I'm here for business. I am not a petting sheep. That is why we have our sheep over there. No, those are the cows. I meant the sheep. There we are.
Just look behind the cows.
Basically, yeah, they're hidden a little bit further up. He looks towards you all, and it just goes, well, my manners. Apart from obviously chucking your friend over here. My name? Well, wouldn't you like to know it? My name's Bob. Specifically, Bob Fluffenhagen.
Well, that's a surprise.
But now that you've heard the name, why don't you roll me a smarts check and see if you've heard of them before?
Yeah, let's see.
Okay.
That's 11.
Ooh, nice. Wait, in anticipation for Tash.
Yes. Which I still cannot see in Roll20. Whom I can't see in Roll20.
This is a lot of anticipation.
Yes.
I know I can't do like proper drum roll. Whatever.
That works.
Yeah.
Still waiting on what you rolled, Tash.
Oh wait! Oh, sorry, I was meant to roll it. Sorry. I was just seeing. I rolled it. What is it again? Sorry.
Smarts check, please.
Smarts. Okay. Let me do the maths. Oh god. Oh, that's quite embarrassing. Oh man, I was multitasking, and that's a perfect hit. 12. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
nice.
perfect hit. But I got 12.
Lovely stuff. Right. With that in mind, Liam, or both of you,
Yeah.
as to say, with your knowledges, you've heard of this Bob before. This Bob
Mhm.
has been known in the circles around America as being what some may even call the American dream. A little sheep that could, so to say, where he would start off his life. His life's actually been well documented up to this point. Starting off his life trying to get any jobs that he could, be a farm worker, being here, there, and everywhere on different parts of a farm, being an office worker but having to clean toilets all day, to then working up the ranks. But he didn't work his way up the ranks in business. Oh no, it was when he became an avid wrestling fan, when he thought to himself, I could do this too. And started off on the indie circuits, training his arse off to be the best of the best. Eventually, he gained multiple opportunities to become champions around the country, most notably being known as one of the longest reigning Ohio State champions of all time.
You could say that he had the wool to be the best.
Dang it.
Damn it, Tash. But you did get a perfect. So,
Yes.
you know a little bit more. Just a little bit. You remember specifically one of his most famous matches, where it was simply known as Bob versus Rob. And this was the battle at the Hoedown, where you basically had two Mouflons battling it out to decide who would be classed as the Ohio State champion. This was a mighty battle between two formidable foes, as it was one of the earliest cases of a 3 stages of hell match. Basically meaning that they had 3 major matches back to one another, and whoever won 2 out of the 3 matches would come out to be the champion. The first match being a no disqualification singles match, which Rob won. The second being a 60-minute Iron Man match, which has stood the
60
test of
minutes?
time. Oh yeah, wrestling for 60 minutes after already wrestling a singles match.
Yeah, so hold on, I'm working this out like 60 minutes. That's like. Oh, wait, that's an hour. Never
Yeah,
mind.
that's like an hour. It is.
Yeah, it's like you know how people, some people, especially one specific person was so ignorant that he became a meme that he said that, oh, time without you, 60 minutes feels like 1 hour. That's an old, oh god, that's an old meme.
Uh,
Fun times. Okay, so obviously the first match was a no DQ singles match, which Rob won. The second being a 60-minute Iron Man match, which Bob won. Leading up to the third match, which everyone was afraid of. The third was a risky match that none of the competitors knew about, and they were hoping would never have to come out. But they had to. So they made it one of the most deadliest matches for Mouflons. It was an Inferno match.
oh.
Basically meaning that in order to win, you would have to set your opponent on fire. This was back in the time where, in this specific stadium that they were wrestling at, there were a lot of, like, backstreet wrestling rules. And that being one of them, the Inferno match being quite devastating. Both guys getting very close to getting singed, burned with all their wool, until eventually Bob threw Rob over the top rope. He went over a geyser of flame and was set ablaze. Rob being perfectly fine and recovering, but retiring from professional combat. Bob reigned supreme and lifted another championship win of the Ohio State Championship. Then he looks towards you all and just goes, "So I've been told Leafmeyer seems you got potential in you. Especially you, my little friend. I'm guessing you're the one who's got a championship match this way."
Yeah. I mean, that's what I've been told by Mr. Leafmeyer. Yeah, yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to get in the ring and tussle with the muscle and tango with the badango and yeah. I should really stop before I embarrass myself further.
Hey, it's okay, little buddy. It's gonna be great. And with me as your guide, you're gonna enjoy Ohio like nobody's business. Just like we do back at the ranch. And then he looks to one side as another jet seems to be landing into the airport. And as he looks on over, he just goes, "Hey, look! There's your competition right now! It's the Ohio State champion just coming in." The jet itself, the jet that you've been on has been like a thick black jet. This one's pure white. It seems to have a ink logo on it that you can't seem to decipher because of all the building work and the windows in the way. After Bob looks at you guys and just goes, "I hope you guys don't mind, but before we go anywhere, mind if I say hi to the champ?"
By all means. I mean, we may as. I mean, why don't we all go over and meet them? Like, may as well introduce ourselves and say hi and shake hands and wish each other luck.
Alrighty, no problem in that. It'd be great. The champion loves meeting new people. And so you guys wait around. You see like some of it landing. You see the air hostesses coming out first, and these are like prime air hostess. You can tell these air hostesses get paid quite a bit because they are in like the fanciest of fine air riding gear, and every single one of them are female Loplands. And they come off first. As they come out, not too long behind them, you've got the champion coming, and it seems as if out of nowhere you just see all these paparazzi jumping over, creating a huge crowd, and you see this plethora of flashing lights getting closer and closer towards you, with a large audience of people being in your way, as you can't seem to see who's amongst this huge group. That's until they get a little bit closer and Bob just goes, "Mm-hmm." And as he does, it's like as if the paparazzi just all unanimously turn around, see who it is. Just like, "Shit, it's Bob! Let's get the hell out of here!" And they dash away, revealing in a large fur coat draped over him a a Loplin with two very tall ears heading up, a pair of dark shades over his eyes, and a huge grin on his face, with both his arms over two very fine looking female Loplins. Just like giggling and being all cutesy, wearing outfits that are quite provocative to say the least. As he looks on over to Bob and just goes, "Ah, my man! Why you gotta ruin all the fun? You know the paps are only here for me and my girls. Well, mostly me." And the girls just go, "Oh, ain't that right?" Mm. Bob's giving him a few remarks and looks as he turns around and says, "Guys, as a proper welcome to Ohio, I might as well introduce you to the Ohio State champion. This is our man right here, and his name is Bob." Bob, you need to stop right there, man. He interjects Bob and just looks incredibly cocky as his arms come off of the ladies as they grab the fur coat off of him, revealing just a black shirt being worn underneath a black waistcoat with bright white buttons going up, with a finely stitched together pair of slacks and some very shiny, finely done black shoes. As he comes on over and walks on over properly with his hands in his pockets, coming on over to you, saying, "Don't tell me. Are you those crazy people that went up against Mike Jaws and all that?"
Well, Mike, the one who went against Mike Jaws, isn't here with us
Oh,
because
man.
he decided to stay. She decided to stay behind and help people in Bermuda's Triangle, doing all that good deeds.
Oh, man. And here's me hoping I had a chance at a world championship. Ah, well, at least I got one of you guys to keep me company. I've seen your matches for quite a while, and you guys seem pretty intimidating. I mean, you guys just seem to bring the greatest talent across. I can't wait. So which one of these guys am I facing, Bob? And Bob points at Thaddeus.
Well,
Or
it's
specifically
Wilbur.
Wilbur at this time.
Yeah.
He looks down at you, because this man's standing about 7 feet tall above you. As he looks on down and just sees you there, how are you reacting at this point?
Hi. I'm Wilbur, and it's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
He's looking at you at first. He just he pops off the glasses a little bit just to eye you up proper. Looks towards Bob, turns back to the ladies and just goes, "Bob, you crack me up. You gotta be kidding. This short stuff? No one's even heard of this guy. Are you kidding me? Who's giving him a heads up? Let me get you're pulling him a leg, surely. You're pulling him a leg." And that's when Bob's giving him a very serious shaking of the head and reveals his own copy of the letter, signed by Sean Leafmeyer and all that. And he just looks right down at you, and suddenly his demeanor goes from very jokey to dead serious. As he looks dead towards you and just goes, "You listen here, sort stuff. Nobody's ever heard of you coming into this match. And ain't nobody's even gonna remember you by the time I'm done with you. You're gonna be another stain on the bottom of my boot. I'm just gonna scrub you out."
I just wanted to wish you the best of luck, and may the best man win. And just extends a very awkward, shaky hand.
As you bring out that hand, he looks at your hand, seems to extend his own, and then just as he gets closer and closer to shaking your hand, takes his hand up just to stroke his ears back as they pop back upright, and just walks away from you, just going laughing his head off as the bunny girls he returns to with his coat are also laughing because of course they are. They put the coat back on him as he returns to his position of his arms over him and just goes, "Hey, little buddy, tell me one thing. You got a name, ain't you?"
I mean, my real name or the stage name?
Hey, it don't matter what your name is, shorty. I'm kidding with you.
Oh, all right.
The only name you gotta remember is the name of the champ that's gonna take this world by storm. Ain't that right, girls? Oh, that's right, baby. Woo! As he just looks at you one last time and just goes, "Just remember the name, Jace Highwind. I'll see you punks later. Time for me to get another photo shoot. Come on, girls." And they just walk off, laughing their heads off, and the girls just fawning over him as he's just walking away. Bob, looking in disgust, to an extent, as he looks down at you and just goes, "Well, I'm sorry for the way he treated little fella."
Oh, no, it's fine. I mean, it's not the first time I've been underestimated because of my stature and all. I mean, I've kind of gotten used to it by now, but hey, I mean, the real strength is proven in the ring, isn't it right?
At this time, Liam just sort of kneels down to Thaddeus's eye level, and it's just like, "Don't mind him. Just use that against him in the match. Because he seems just arrogant and covering up some obvious fault he has."
Oh, I'm sure once we get a chance to like really get to know him, he's probably just a really nice guy underneath all that bravado and confidence and high self-esteem, things that I could only dream of having.
Erg at this point joins Liam and kneels down near you. But what Erg does, he grabs you, puts you on his shoulder, and stands back upright with you just on his shoulder, and just goes, "This is where you will be after the match. So tall that everyone will be looking up at you instead of down at you."
I really don't know what to say, but thank you. I'll be sure to remember those words as I enter the ring. I'll be sure to remember them. But yeah, thank you. Just thank you so much for the kind words and support.
Because when Bob interjects in and just goes, "Well, that's a fine pair of friends you got there with you. I'm quite happy for you. Now, how about I bring you to your home of accommodations for the next while? And don't you worry, boys. Just because Wilbur over here's got himself a championship match don't mean I'm going to leave you guys out of pocket. I got some ideas to bring some talent over that you guys are going to love fighting against." And that being said, Bob will be speaking with you, telling you more about Ohio and how it is at the moment. A lot of Ohio is actually being changed into a major epicenter of farmlands in the States, with Bob actually playing a major role in it. For the longest time, Ohio had a big problem whilst he was Ohio State champion being that there was a lot of infrastructure being built, but a lot of the infrastructure was overwriting a lot of the natural land and a lot of the natural farmland that Ohio had. So, using his championship power, he actually made it so that Ohio had to have respect to nature and some respect to the original farmlands. So that's why most of Ohio has kept its farmland origins, and has, if anything, has actually improved the technology of farms to make it so that they're more efficient, more friendly to animals, and friendly to the process of nature itself. It's amazing. Bobbin himself takes you over to a big van that he has set up ready for you guys to climb on in, as he would like to drive you to your destination. Is there anything you would like to ask Bob about?
I think mostly throughout the journey, like Wilbur would mostly like be like, like just kind of like, oh, I remember watching some of your matches; they were awesome, and I and just feeling the kind of connection between like the whole, like, I mean, a lot of people kind of think that I'm just a small guy destined for only small things, but like with Mouflon, who are only seen as like farm boys sort of thing, but here we are.
You see, little buddy, you got the right mindset right there. If I can become the American dream and go from a little boy in nothing shape to now one of the most renowned and famous champions known to mankind, you could do just as much, if not more.
So, do you have any lovely habanero chips? Because I want to feel my mouth burn at the moment.
That's a good question, buddy. I tell you what, we get you guys set up, I'll see what I can whisk up for you. I might actually know a half-decent spot that's got that.
And actually, as little extra to this, I actually just ate a couple of habanero chips.
Oh, lovely.
Very nice.
So your mouth is literally on fire.
Sort of. The place that hurts the most is the stitch, actually, it's not a stitch, it's just a cut which was made when I had my root canal done earlier this week.
Oh, lovely.
Stuff. And as you guys are traveling in the van, it's one of those big fancy vans that has like a bunch of drinking bits if you want to fancy a drinky. It also has a big screen on. As you're driving along, it seems as if Bob has like a buzz coming through to him, as you just hear and as you do, he just grabs a phone out of his pocket, checks it.
Wait, while driving?
What was that?
What? Wait, while driving?
Oh no, he's not driving. Oh no, he's not driving. He's got one of his assistants to actually drive.
Oh, right, okay. I was gonna say, like, what the?
So we should have clarified that. As he's in the back of the van with you, still answering your questions as you're driving along. He grabs his phone, has a quick read, and just goes, "Hey everybody, do you mind if I put on the television? Looks like something's going down."
Oh, let's put it up the telly.
Sure. Yeah. Can do.
Put on the television, and there is a big World Organization of Wrestling update. As you have a news correspondent that seems to be coming from the Bermuda Triangle, outside a very familiar-looking hospital. As the journalist just looks at the camera and just goes, "We are now waiting any minute to see if the rumors are true. Is Mike Jaws fully recovered and ready to re-enter the ring? Rumors have been saying for the past week now that he has been recovering at such a rate that he's even been wrestling some of the medical staff just to get his hands dirty again." At this point, like Bob's just looking at you guys, and just goes, "Hey, a couple of you boys have met up with that Mike Jaws guy. Do you think he's capable of making a full recovery after that mad injury he got?"
I mean, this is Mike the Great White Jaws, and I mean, he's a pretty tough guy. So I mean, I can't see why he wouldn't be able to get back into wrestling.
Any advances of that, Liam?
Not really.
Fair enough. Erg will basically just look at Bob and just goes, "He is made of strong stuff. Vanya pushed him to his limits. Even then, he was not willing to break. If he's back into wrestling, then he will be a top competitor." That being said, the news articles going on at this point, as all of a sudden you just hear all this hustle and bustle going on from behind the journalist, as the camera tries to get in front of her to try and focus on what's happening, as the crowd disperses a little bit, and there he is. Mike Jaws with his patented black leather jacket over him. Like, so a couple of like oversized plasters on him in certain areas where it's obvious he probably shouldn't be discharged at this point in time. As he's walking on out, he's got a couple of what seem to be like a couple of like shark muscle with him as he's walking out the hospital, just butting people away and pushing them out of the way. As the journalist calls him over to say if he wants to say a few words, he just gives a mad growl, takes the microphone, looks dead-eyed at the camera, and just goes, "Guess who's back on the block, boys? Everybody's favorite jaw-dropping shark. They couldn't keep me in hospital for long. And you better believe that if I find that fool that tried to break my back and kill my career, I'm gonna eat him. I'm gonna eat him like I eat schools of fish every single day. And Lavanya, I know you're still in the Bermuda Triangle. I know you're trying to be goody little Two Shoes. Guess what, Two Shoes? My championship, my rules. I'll see you soon." Just chucks the microphone at the camera. Camera just dropping to the floor as you just see Jaws walking off into the distance. And the news flashing back to what seems to be like their main studio talking about other bits and reacting. Gone down.
So he really is back. Or at least I like to think he is.
Erg points out at this point, "Think he should be walking around with injuries like that?"
I mean, if he's not fully recovered, then I don't really know why he's still walking around. But I mean, I don't know. I'm no doctor.
Now, I've been in my fair few matches, boys. I don't know about you. Having an injury of that scale, you're going to be out of action for quite a long time. To see Mike Jaws in this state makes me think that this might not be just recovery we're talking about. I reckon Mike Jaws may have just forked out a little bit of dollar, got some needly surgery done."
Surgery, I mean, like proper surgery to, I don't know, make you stronger and stuff.
In a way, little fella. But the trick is, with Mike Jaws and him being a well-renowned hardcore champion even without the belt, he'll have quite a lot of notoriety and quite a lot of dollar under his belt. As you've seen with Artemis and me being informed about her injury, they fixed her right up with a brand new cybernetic arm. Now, who's to say that Mike Jaws over here might not be hooked up with some brand new kit himself, but just hiding it underneath that leather jacket of his?
I mean, I mean, now that you mention it, I think I remember something about Artemis getting some kind of operation on her arm. I mean, it looked pretty badly damaged.
At this moment in time, I would like all of you guys to roll me a toughness check. This is to see if you can notice, if you look back or think back to what you just saw with Mike Jaws, if you notice anything irregular in his frame, himself, any of that jazz.
I rolled a 1, so
No.
that is a 5. So no, I don't notice anything.
So smarts, toughness.
Toughness, that is, yes.
Oh, let's see. And that's a 6.
So not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot.
He had a couple of those oversized plasters and a couple of like extra marks across his chest where his leather jacket wasn't closed up. But he didn't notice it like anything uniquely different about him. He was still walking the same. Nothing like seemed to stood out. He didn't seem to be specifically hiding anything. He just seemed to be Mike Jaws being Mike Jaws.
Yes.
Oh.
Fair play. So the van ride continues, and as it does, you end up at your new location, which is actually a very nice looking farmstead. A very nice house around with a farm, right next to like a barn and some other bits. As Bob Destruction just goes, "Now I wanted you guys to have your feeling or how you feel. So allow me to introduce you to my own home. Welcome to Bobby's Ranch."
Oh. It's
As long as it has electricity, I'm good.
Oh, don't you worry, boy. I made so our farms are all up to date with the newest modern technology. You've even got full Wi-Fi signal on your little doodad there.
That's good. That's good.
wow, it's a really splendid place. I mean, it looks so rustic. I like it.
Oh yeah, fella. My mama and papa always told me, if you can't enjoy the little things in life, then what's the point of making them 10 times bigger? So in my case, I wanted to make sure that my home was as rustic and home-feeling as humanly possible. Or in my case, sheepingly possible.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's important to make the place you live as much as a home as you want it to be, because it's that's the only way you can actually relax.
Oh, you're damn right. The best way to real chill out. This is why this home was built for wrestlers. Because after you're done with a real big octane match and you want to relax, ain't no place like this on the planet. It's that time when you
Yeah.
notice that there is someone outside the main house giving you a wave down. And it seems to be another mouflon, quite fluffy, very white, just like Bob. And this mouflon has an apron on, like a brightly coloured apron, with some lipstick on her. As Bob just goes, "Hey, look, well, there's my wife, Maud, right there." As he just gives his wife a wave down as well.
Oh.
Welcoming you to the Bob Homestead. Your home away from home as you rest up in preparation for matches ahead. As we know, the Thaddeus will be taking on the likes of the Ohio State Champion, as we only know him as Jace Highwind, which seems to be a cocky Loplin. However, who will Liam be facing? What about Erg instead? What else may occur when they're on the farm? Will there be cow people?
Oh,
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Yes! Yes!
All I need to say is, it's going to be utterly exciting. And you can tune into that wholesomeness on the next installment of Ring Warriors next week.
Yes.
You're just
Chat's
milking
going
it,
mad
Dom.
about Bob having a wife. Bob and Maud, best couple.
He's
Confirmed.
just so wholesome.
I love it. Yes, guys.
Aw.
I hope you enjoyed the stream. It's been a nice one. It's been a chilled one. It's been a fun one. More things to come from next week with some more fun times and hopefully some more advancements on the worky bits. If you want to tune in as to what is happening and see updates or just talk about things or just chill out in general, because we do like a bit of chill out on the streams and all that jazz, why don't you consider following, subbing, all that jazz if you wish. And on top of that, join me on the Discord server, where you can hit me up for some more explosive fun times as well as the group. And yeah, have some more fun. I may also be doing some mini streams in the future where we get some of you guys on, if you're interested, to make your own characters live on air. So if you're interested, let me know on the Discord server, or let me know in any which way you please, so that we can get you sorted out. Hoo-ha. See what crazy creations we can end up having with the game and potential new crossovers. But that being said, we will say goodbye for now from my colleagues. I say colleagues, but they are my friends also. Tash and Foxy.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Stuff. And there's goodbye from your most explosive host on the planet, me, Dominic Exploded Coles. I'll see you guys next time. Be that next week, tomorrow, whenever I am streaming next. Have a good day, evening, afternoon. Stay explosive. Seeing you guys next time. See you then.